And you know we love learning and going behind the crown to learn about journey of women who have stepped onto the pageant scene, especially those who get to represent our beautiful state of Michigan. And we've been able to follow the journey and reign of Alma Cooper, who is the former Miss Michigan, but also the current Miss USA.
That's right, and from Miss Michigan to Miss USA, and now First Lieutenant. Wow. Our very own Alma Cooper actually started as a student in Okemos High School, and recently she came back home to speak with and inspire students to pursue their passions. I caught up with her to learn more about how her upbringing influenced who she is both on and off the pageant stage, so check it out.
I basically have two jobs, being Miss USA and being First Lieutenant Cooper.
And she doesn't take either job lightly. Alma Cooper knows a thing or two about having a double life, and despite the fact that both lives take on two completely different uniforms, they both started right here in Okemos, Michigan.
I feel deeply grateful every time I get to speak to a school, but specifically at Okemos just because, you know, as a grad, and I could really resonate with the feeling of telling students, you know, I was literally once in your shoes.
Before her dreams of becoming Miss Michigan, Miss USA, or even Miss Universe, Alma Cooper dreamed of following in her father's footsteps.
I've watched my dad's career, which was really impactful on my life. He served for 24 years in the Army, and, you know, watching his career and watching him lead, you know, men and women throughout, you know, not just within, you know, his unit and in his office, but then also being deployed a handful of times when I was younger. I felt like, you know, he had devoted himself to service in so many ways. So I thought when I, you know, wanted to go to West Point, I thought, you know, what better way to continue to live out that legacy and to just be a part of something bigger than I am as an individual.
He taught her early on that life has a way of reminding you about the details.
It's all in the details. You know, pay attention to the details, and I can just hear him say that still today. I mean, I'll be like, hey Dad, like I ran into an issue, or oh, I left my key in my apartment. He's like, it's all in the details now, it's all in the details. And the one thing that I take away from that is that, you know, when I did get to West Point, I realized that there are a lot of values that the Army has that were already in my household.
And it's those details that have made her successful regardless of which uniform she's wearing.
I found that there's a lot of intrinsic discipline that has allowed me to be successful in both, and has allowed me to not just focus on the role, but the goal. And the goal for me has always been service.
And Alma finds a way to pursue service in her crown and sash by doing school appearances, mentoring students, while also simultaneously serving our country as an active duty Army officer. As a graduate of West Point University, First Lieutenant Alma Cooper graduated in the top 5% of her class. As she shares her story with people across the United States, she ensures to remind them,
like, the only limits that you face are the ones that you accept, and so if you're the first person to say no to yourself, then you limit yourself from even opening those doors.
She is currently on a leave of absence, but as she continues her Miss USA reign, she tells me that when she takes off the crown in a few months, she plans to pursue a career in the military.
I'll go to a military intelligence basic officer leadership course, which is essentially like the training attached to my job, and then I'll go out into an operational unit and keep my North Star of service.
Yeah, and Alma tells me that she will graduate in May. Okay. She still also has a few more months as Miss USA, but if you want to follow her journey and learn more about her life beyond the crown, she's an avid runner as well. She just did a few marathons too. Check her out on a lot of her socials. Alma.Cooper on Instagram is where you can start. But it was really great speaking with her.
Yeah, it's really cool when they can come back home and see the impact that they had, go back to their roots and see what they're doing right now. Absolutely amazing. Great person and great story to tell too.
Yeah, it's really fun to talk to her.
Yes.
But we've got a great show. We got a lot of people to talk to today now.